Alright everyone, welcome back to another Friday night live stream. Today's topic, we're going to be talking about why I ditched the Sony A95K, and again, just kind of playing on what I've been saying for the longest time. It really honestly isn't the TV I thought it was, which actually might surprise some of you, because I know the narrative, if you will, has not been very positive when reviewing the Sony A95K, so we have to kind of talk about this a little bit more in depth. Now, when I say it's not the TV I thought it was, if you recall back several live streams ago, and by several, I mean like at the beginning of the year when they first announced QD OLED, I was hyped, man. I was excited for it, but that was back when we expected these things to be like $8,000, you know what I mean? And for them to come out under that, we were like, all right, cool, great. And then for me, like, I think what really did it is, like, I was really expecting Sony to come out and do, like, everything they are known for. Quality motion, quality products, as far as like color and brightness, and like really break the industry, really, right? I wanted them to show up and just completely clean house. It was their chance, and lo and behold, Samsung beat them to the market first with their OLED. And I remember back in 2012, Samsung had an RGB OLED, and it was crazy popular. Still to this day, a very rare TV. They only made like a handful of them, like that people got their hands on. Like they only did like one short run. It was not like a big deal, right? And it was one of those things where it was like, I missed a train on that. And it's like, you know, now they came out with another OLED, and I was like, oh, all right, I got to get on this, and I got to see it. And so I see it, and I see all the colors and all that stuff. And the whole time, to be very honest with everybody watching, like, I'm looking at it, and I'm like, okay, I feel like Sony could do this better. Because Sony gives you direct access to BT 2020. And as we know, like, Samsung's BT 2020 is only in HDR now because they removed the HDR, what is it? It was their HDR Plus mode. Not to be confused for HDR 10 Plus. The HDR Plus mode, which was their HDR simulation mode and all that fun stuff. And it really killed me because, you know, the whole time I'm watching this unfold, and I'm like, okay, Sony could do it better. They have better color spaces and all that fun stuff. Then I'm like, okay, but like they have smooth gradation, which, to be fair, the A95K slaughters Samsung when we talk about gradations every day of the week. Not a competition. So that part was lived up to. The clarity aspect, I was really hoping it would be like next level. It is and it isn't. Like, Samsung has more depth, which is weird because Sony talks about the cognitive processor a lot. But the clarity, the tact sharp nature, the best way I could describe it to you is like, if I take this live stream, for example, it's the difference between using an actual camera shooting on an expensive lens versus using something like my cell phone. You know what I mean? It would be a way different ballgame, and that's kind of what it's like when we talk about the clarity aspects. Like, Sony's clarity is just crystal clear, which I love. But then we get to the part where, like, I really started getting disappointed, and that was the overall, like, nature of the television. Like, for one thing, like, I unbox it, and I'm sitting here, and I'm like, God, like, this is not fun. Like, it's really heavy. Like, and for those that don't know, like, I have degenerative nerve damage. I do not like to lift heavy things. That's why I don't touch 65, 75, 85. Forget about it. I'm not putting myself in some sort of mortal crisis for the sake of a TV review, right? I'll help and give the information where I can, but I'm not going to kill myself, right? And so for me, I'm sitting here and I'm just like, okay, the stand is really heavy for no reason. Like, it's just straight up weight for no reason, right? All right, fine. Maybe we turn it on and it'll be nice and it'll be a good experience. And, you know, it's just, there's not enough redeeming factors. Like, when we come in at a $3,200 price tag after tax, like, that's what I ended up paying, right? And I'm sitting here and I'm like, did I really get $3,200 worth of picture quality? Like, no. And I think that's the part that really upsets a lot of people, because it's like when you go at it from that angle and you're like, no, I'm not seeing where the money went, people get angry at you. And I understand, like, dude, like, it's hella frustrating even for me. You think I like coming out here and being like, yo, bad news, like, they messed up this again, and why are these guys lying about it? Like, I wish, honestly, in my heart of hearts, like, all us AV guys could just get the hell along, right? And everybody could just, like, not lie about things, and we could just be transparent, because that's how products improve. That's how they used to improve. And I guess I'm still old school in the sense that I believe you can do it the honest way of believing in your audience, believing in yourself, your hard work, your content, and your transparency. The other guys just seem to want to, what is it, they create an alliance nowadays, and they're all circle jerking over on a live stream somewhere, and they go meet up at a local pub and cafe and basically control the narrative with all this bullshit. Pardon my French. And it gets to the point where I'm just sitting here and I'm like, how and why does it get this bad? Like, well, it gets this bad because, like, it becomes so much of the norm. Value electronics wins again. Value electronics. takes the cake and they'll put out this award or that award. And again, I like when people give awards that are just, right? Like if Sony was like the king of the kings, I would be the first one sounding that trumpet to be like, yo, this is awesome. Like, dude, they could not have picked like the worst time of year to like pick this. Like everybody's kind of recovering from like, you know, we know what happened in the world. I can't say the big, you know, COVID-19 for my One Piece fans. This little joke there, but we can't talk about that. But people are still recovering from that, right? And then also now we're in a whole nother thing with this whole can't say the R word, but we know what that is, right? Okay, and it's like goods are expensive and they're already price gouged. And it's like when Sony comes out and they're just like, guess what we're gonna do to you? $3,200 for a 55-inch. Isn't that sweet? It's like that's 77-inch territory, bro. What are you doing? So I don't know, but I just wanted to open it up with that. I'm going to have an open dialogue with you guys about it. I know you guys have some questions about it. We'll talk about it, have a good time, and let's get started with this entire live stream. So first and foremost, we got a super chat here from the Christian Conservative. I appreciate your donation of $20, brother. It goes a long way in helping this community stay crowd and self-funded, as you know. Hey, I appreciate you, man. You're like one of our soldiers out here helping us out, so I appreciate you for sure. So I'm going to turn on the live chat here and see what we've got. Okay, so we've got Craig. How's it going, man? Good evening. We've got Mr. Pipsqueak. You said a scam. Call it what it is. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing, right? It's like when they come out, and I honest to God, people, like I get it. Like it's always negative when it's negative, but you have to be honest about that, right? Like, come on, man. Like they came out and they said, we're a master series. We calibrate specifically to this particular white balance. You don't have to do anything, basically. And that was a lie. I showed you in real time in my last video I just uploaded, like how bad it is versus a real master calibration. Like, way the hell off. And again, when I say master calibration, a lot of the purists get really angry because they'll hook it up to equipment and they're like, look at this delta error. Yeah, my delta error is going to be through the roof. I design my picture quality for picture settings to look amazing. I don't design it for computer software that's not a human being. It's human element 100% around here. And so that's why we say beyond reference, because the reference can't track what we can see with our human eye. But, you know, I'll digress from that point. But then, okay, we get to the value electronics thing, and it's not that I'm particularly sore about it. Like, I really was like, okay, they're saying, like, it's winning all this stuff, like best brightness, best HDR, best sports TV. I mean, that's a lot. Like, sports for an OLED is weird because, like, if you're, like, binge watching, right, the Super Bowl game or whatever with the boys or whatever, or your friends or your family, you know, you don't want to have an OLED typically because of the static elements. Like, I wouldn't recommend an OLED for like a heavy sports watcher and say like this is the best for sports. Like, that's weird. So I was like, okay, motion must be really incredible. And then of course I see reviews. I think it was like Tech Radar or something like that. They were saying, hey, the motion's superb. And, you know, other people were saying the motion's excellent. And I'm like, all right, I've really got to see this thing now. I get it in. And I kid you not, it fails every single motion test possible. And I'm like, bro, like, are y'all really finessing people like this? Like, come on, man. Like, come on. Like, it's 2022. We could be honest about some basic stuff. You know I'm gonna check. Like, you know, and I love how, like, they pretend like I'm Voldemort, he who shall not be named. You have a couple guys out there, some of the smaller ones, not to throw shade at anybody's size or anything, but it's true. Like some of the just starting up AV channels, they'll be like, oh, this guy is the joke of the butt of the AV community. And it's like, bro, like Hisense didn't come to you and like ask you for your findings and then fix something with firmware. Like that was me, bro. Like, calm down with that. You just got certified like last year. This year, you talking to me? Like, you check the room, bud. I've been here before you even started. Like, but these are the guys that come out and they like join up with like people that already don't know what they're doing, like FOMO. Sorry, bud. Okay, and just everyday people. Which again, being an everyday person, being an enthusiast, totally fine. But it's when you take it too far and you start joining things like Value Electronics and literally lying about the findings on these things. Now, again, it was like Be the Installer and some other YouTubers, not necessarily throwing shade at any particular person, but like a lie is a lie, right? And that's where it definitely becomes a scam, because it's like we see this happening where like Sony is promoting it on their website, Best Buy is promoting it on their website, Amazon's promoting it on their website. So what are you, the consumer, going to think? How are all of these people possibly wrong? This one guy tells you that this is a scam. Like, who are you going to believe? All these people or this one guy? Maybe he's the odd man out. Except, I'm the only one that tells you exactly how I get my funding. I'm the only one that has constantly for years been very transparent. Anytime I've got a collaboration deal or anytime anything happens, I tell you, hey, it's an exchange for the product. They'll let me keep the product, right? And then we'll do the review, right? It's going to be a brutally honest review. If they don't like it, oh well. And 9 times out of 10, most of the time they don't call me back because it's an honest review and they're not looking for that. They're looking for, marketing. Some of you guys remember what happened when I was talking to GoV, right? It was more of the same. And it's kind of like that thing, right? Where they want to start looking over your stuff before you publish it. And it's like, absolutely not. And the thing is, it's like the other guys aren't willing to do that because there's no money in that. You will not make money on this platform with just Google Ad Rev. Everybody, I think that's a YouTuber, knows that already. So you have to do affiliate links, okay? And then outside of affiliate links, you kind of have to get sponsorships, or you have to have like networking that works for you, right? Like Box.uk, Crampton, and more. People who have a vested interest in your success, right? And when we see this being promoted on Sony, okay, like these findings from a retailer, like they're not even like, bro, they're not even Best Buy. They're this mom and pop electronics store, okay? And they're being promoted by Sony. Why? That's the question you have to ask. Why would Sony care so much about another retailer above Best Buy? Nobody asked that question. That's a good damn question to ask though, right? And the same thing happens like when we look at all of these other YouTubers. Like what is your vested interest exactly in the success of the A95K? Because when I check it and I look and I test it, I hook up my instruments and I'm looking and it's not matching what you're saying. Like everybody's like color accuracy is so good on the A95K. I look at it, the S95B destroyed it. And now I'm hearing this argument, well, Quantum, it could have been firmware. And I'm like, bro, like, I feel you, but you didn't talk that nonsense when Value Electronics didn't tell you what firmware they were running. You don't know. We have no idea. Is it 1082, 1092? Is it 1204, 1211, 1303, 1304? We don't know, right? Well, it couldn't possibly be 1304. That just launched. But my point is, right? Like, there was no disclosure of that. But the moment you show flaws, here come the excuses. And then when that fails, then it's just like, oh, it's this thing or it's the other thing. I mean, I've seen some people, and the other side of things laughing at the fact that I'm showing SDR, for one. I'm showing one piece, and I'm telling you ABL. When that full screen highlight happens, right, I'm showing the ABL. And now they're talking, oh, that's ASBL. That's strange because nothing was moving on the screen. It's a stopped, paused frame. ASBL, amazing how that works, right? Now, again, all this tech talk is pointless because the truth be told, all we really care about is the TV dimmer, right? Because they said it's the best SDR bright room TV, but it's not. And so when we prove that, now there's all this like, nobody wants to talk about it or address it. Silence, right? Explain to me, right? Like all the so-called reputable guys that put this thing up, that gas this thing up, bro. Like I want to hear it. How did you miss this? That in SDR, it's not only dim, it is so much fundamentally dimmer than the S95B that like, it's no longer the TV I thought it was. Like, I was so hyped for this thing. Go watch my past videos on that thing. I was hyped, man. And then they blew it. So, yeah, I definitely agree with the scam part. 100%, man. Kelly Rivard, you said, what's up, Mr. Q? And I got one of these. What's going on, Kelly? We've got Dane. What's going on, brother? You said, good evening, everyone. Good evening. Thanks for stopping by. What phone you rocking, Q? From Mr. Pipsqueak 2001. I'm rocking the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra. We've got Shercy. I always mess up your name. You've been here since like 2017 and I still can't get your name right. But all right, I'll try. Let's see. Shercy. Tell me if I got it right. Shercy 29. You said, hi, mate. What's going on? I got a winky face and a smiley. And we've got the it's all about the money. Yeah, that's kind of what it's looking like. Ted Wilson, what's going on, brother? How are you doing as well? You said, the TV failed when Quantum's magic can't justify / save the price. Yeah, I mean, like, dude, I stayed up till 6 o'clock in the damn morning. Now, full context, because you don't know me, right? I'm just a stranger making YouTube videos, right? Me staying up till 6 o'clock in the morning is a big deal because I work for a living, right? And so I'm coming home, I'm with my family, but then I take off. I completely neglect and abandon my family, basically, shut myself off in what's essentially my lab, and I go to work. And I'm sitting here and I'm analyzing, and I'm like, it could get better. Sony's got more in there. They've got more in there than this. I can do this. I got this. And I get it to a point where they're matching, and I look at the Sony, and then I'm so let down. It's like a heart-crushing thing because I remember Sony like this. And I'm seeing them like perform like this. And it's just kind of like, every time I mention that, like, people look at me, oh, you just hate Sony. I don't know why you're always against Sony. It's like, bro, every single camera I own is a Sony. Every single time. Bro, I get that comment. And then, of course, I got the 900E, still a champion. I still have my W800B. I still have my A8G Bravia OLED. Like, I don't hate Sony at all. Like, that's literally an impossibility for me, right? And I get a PS5. Like, I wouldn't keep buying their products if I hated them, but you know what it is. It's that thing, like, when people identify with a brand or they really like something or they're a fan of something and you attack it with the truth. Really, it's just the truth, man. And they don't want to hear it. They're not going to have it. And so it's just kind of like, so I get it, man. It's one of those things for sure. It's hard, though, because it's like, I wish everybody could just be like me with it, right? Like, my name isn't outside of Sony's headquarters. They don't care about me and I don't care about them. We're in a mutual understanding. I work hard for my money. I'm going to give them that money. And in exchange, they're going to give me a product that I'm going to love. I'm going to be dazzled by because I'm not the least common denominator, right? Like some other people would have you believe. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. It's a whole industry. So yeah, you know it's crazy because I couldn't save it no matter what I tried. Craig, what's going on, brother? You said if people keep buying their products, Sony has no reason to upgrade their product. And that's kind of what it is. Like, if you speak with your dollars and you don't buy it, you tell them what's wrong, more importantly, too. They can change that. Like, they can fix that. But it only happens, like, I'm one guy, and I'm well aware of that. It only happens when everyday people, even if you've never tried YouTube, turn on your camera, bro. Turn on your cell phone. Record what you're seeing. Record what's happening. Talk about it. Because until there's more out there than just the digital trends of the world, you're never going to get the consumer market we deserve back. It's gotten to the point where, like, they know for a fact they can just approach somebody that is hungry for money and they can just sign them a commission check and they'll never have to worry about sales ever again, so long as they've got the social media following. And I want you to notice a pattern. All these guys that glow up all these products and tell you everything's awesome and never say don't buy this or don't buy that and won't stand up for the consumer, every single time they always have affiliate links and they never answer a single comment in their comment section. Look, go check, don't check, bro, look, go see for yourself. They stand on your backs to make themselves credible and then they ignore the hell out of you. I don't understand that logic. Like, your following is everything if you're on a social media platform, but they ignore them. No open conversation, no dialogue. People ask questions all day, get ignored because they're not important. They just abandon the comment section. It's the strangest thing. So, yeah. Makes me wonder, Kelly Rivard says, makes me wonder if the exact set they show in the videos and advertisement is better, deliberately from actual sets people get. Like Wish.com gives you a fake out and gaslights you it's the same product. Bro, this comment is it right now. Like, 1,000,000,000% feeling that. Like, that's kind of what it is. It's a damn bait and switch, right? And I'll be very real with you. Samsung bait and switched me as well. Like, I did not just, like, exchange it out, essentially, because I loved firmware 1302. Like, these companies, like, they come out and they get this really crazy good product, and you're like, wow, I love this. And then they update it. And I'm not even joking. Go through my community tab right now. I literally posted, like, the Sony A7 IV is one of their $2,400 cameras, okay? They put out an update that basically destroyed that camera for a lot of people. And until a patch comes out, their big solution is just to pull the update so nobody can update it again. What? Like, meanwhile, all these people paid thousands of dollars, professional workflows that they've got to get going. They've got a business, right? They can't wait on you and your patch, so what do they got? They got to buy another camera or rent another camera, something like that. Sony has this bad attitude when it comes to their products where it's like, yeah, we know we messed up, deal with it, suck it up until we get around with, doing something about it. And I just, it's like, you have to stop telling the big guys that they're too big to fail. There's a reason why people can shadow ban you, silence you, scrub you off the internet, take your dignity, your freedoms, your rights away in the blink of an eye. And it's because you tell them, you're too big to fail. I'm the little guy, I'm the peasant, and you're the master. If you don't stop doing that, Sony, Samsung, bro, you heard what happened with Samsung? Their CEO got out of prison early. They just forgave all his charges, and you know what the government said? Literally, their government in South Korea? But essentially, in a nutshell, they were essential to the economy's success. He was. They couldn't just assign another CEO. No, they needed this guy. He was essential to the economy's success. How? Just fire them and find somebody else, right? But see, this is what happens when there's no accountability from the public and nobody cares, right, about what happens with the rich people that control consumer goods. And it's like, bro, I see this all the time, and it's just the greatest injustice in the consumer market. So I get in my feels about it naturally, but I hope some of you guys do too. So yeah, Kelly Ravad, that was a 10 out of 10 comment, 100%. Nadeem, what's going on? You said, hi, Quantum. I've heard that the 77-inch QD OLEDs are coming next year, but I'm worried that the Samsung S95C won't have 1500 nits of peak brightness like the S95B. Should I get the 65-inch S95B or wait? I did hear that the newer Samsung S95Bs are on 1303 and higher, so it might not matter at this point. You could wait and see if the sales are better, or you can wait for what comes next. But of course, we can't guarantee anything at this stage. We don't even know what's going to happen. So hopefully, I mean, hell, it could get to the point where they just say, hey, supply chain issues, so we're going to make 65 inches again until, we can afford to do 77-inch. Or, they can say financial issues or whatever. So we never know with these kinds of things. I'm going to mess this up. Perminder Dula? You said, you demand, and I appreciate that. Thank you, brother. Steve, what's going on, brother? You said, bro, what's going on, man? Cannon Hawk, what's going on, brother? You said, hey, Q Curious. Has the motion improved from the A80J to the A95K? Keep it up. Yes, the motion is slightly better than what I saw last year, and it's better than the A90J. It is, but not by a whole lot. It's just enough not to be as terrible of an experience as I had before, but it is a little bit better. So they did fix it a little bit, but again, it's got a long way to go. I think for me, the biggest thing now is like when you disable motion processing on the Sony A95K, you have like jitters. Like it's jittery. Like in panning shots, it's disgusting, right? Crawling jitter, disgusting. Okay. And then when you go into more like fast-paced like gaming type stuff and you turn on motion processing, it looks really bad. Like the artifacts are crazy. If you watch like what I was doing, right? Hey, One Piece nerd right here. Not ashamed to say it. Shout out to all my One Piece fans, okay? I'm sitting here watching Wano Kuni episode 1028, and yes, I watch it on loop all the time. I'm probably going to do it tonight, okay? I can't help it. It was an epic moment, right? And so I'm watching it over and over again, and I was like, you know what would be awesome if I saw this on the Samsung S95B? I watch it, and I'm like, bro, this is trash. What are all these artifacts? Like I'm watching lightning pop off, and I'm just seeing it literally break apart and miss data. That's what the Sony's processing is like these days. It never used to be that bad, man. I get it when things move really fast. Every TV's going to have some form of artifacts. Sony takes it to the next level. It's like they want to be the king of artifacts. Like, it's the weirdest thing. Call him Indiana Jones. I don't know. Bossy 2021, what's going on? You said, thanks, bro. Great help. Absolutely. We have red hair. What's going on? And I noticed the little Shanks picture. I see that. You said Quantum enjoying roof piece as well. Goat piece. All day, every day, We've got Jerry. What's going on? You said my C8 is brighter than my A95K. I believe it 1,000%. The dimming is just too aggressive in most things that I've seen on it. Ari, what's going on, brother? It's been a while. Hope all's well with you. You said, what's going on, Quantum? You said, hope all is well, the same as me. You said, I'm living my 65-inch Samsung S95B running firmware 1204. Yeah, I wouldn't update too. So you're on a good firmware. Just leave it how it is. And another thing I kind of want to address, like I see some people saying like the heatsink issues are going to be a huge problem on the Samsung S95B. I've seen people say like the frames are bent. And here's what I'll tell you. I'm not going to discredit anyone's experience because, of course, when consumers sound off, I want to hear it. These things are important, okay? I have not experienced these things. My frame isn't bent, and I'm on my second Samsung S95B only because of the firmware, not because of anything else, right? And I also haven't noticed any considerate signs of even image retention. Not at all. I haven't seen it at all. And I'm PC gaming on this. I'm watching movies. I'm regular gaming. Everything on this TV. And for hours, I'm telling you, dude. When I get time, hours at a time. Not a care in the world, and there's no problem. So I think that it's not as big as a problem as some of these people are trying to make you believe, but I think a lot of it is from people that really want Sony to succeed, that are kind of like, oh, the Samsung's just terrible. Some of them, not all of them. You know who you are. If you're not one of those people, then you know you're doing the right thing. But there are a lot of people that like to plant themselves into situations, and they have ulterior motives. Like, I still have people that join the membership from time to time, and they're just there literally to say, "Oh, your settings are terrible." Meanwhile, everybody's like, "Bud, did you watch the video? Did you? He talked about this one thing you're saying you have a problem with." And then when you address it, they, of course, they act out and they do what they want to do. You know what it is. But it is one of those things where it's like, in every business, in every industry, in every walk of life, you're going to have somebody that's going to try to rebuttal or get that final word in. You know, the yeah, but kind of person. Like, you're having a conversation with them, you're trying to tell them something, they're like, yeah, but, and that conversation will go on forever. At some point, you have to shut that off and be like, okay, we're done. And that's kind of, unfortunately, what you have to do with a lot of this stuff. Kelly Rivard says, what's Roof Piece? Roof Piece, if you're a One Piece fan right now, this would be a good time to mute the audio just for a few minutes. I'll give you a thumbs up when I'm done, okay? Because it will spoil some stuff for you if you are a One Piece fan. So I'm going to give you to the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Roof Piece for One Piece is essentially the main part of Wano Kuni where Luffy is fighting Kaido and Big Mom at the top of the, basically, I can't really say this very well because I don't have a Japanese accent, okay? The Onigashima or whatever. It's the top of Kaido's castle. And they're squaring off and they're battling and they're fighting at the top of the castle. And so it's the top of the roof, the roof piece. Everybody calls it that. But yeah, no, it's really exciting. And the reason we call it that is because, like, he spent so much time running through the castle trying to get up to the roof. So yeah, that's the whole story behind it. Okay, so everybody's good. You guys are done. I'm done. No more spoilers. Okay, you guys are safe to resume watching. All right, so yes, let it flow, Shirsi. Yay, I got it. Thank you. I'm glad I got that name right. I always messed it up. We got one person saying, Red Hair says, One Piece. He said, I got you, should have known. The government in the UK is suing Sony big time right now. I heard about that. I heard they're in a lot of trouble. I wonder what it's going to play out like. Will they get a slap on the wrist or will it turn into something? Who knows? What did they do? Sony is being sued big time. And we got, is the U8H better than the A95K? No, it's not better, but it does have some nice aspects about it. Like, brightness obviously is better. Again, in terms of black levels, I don't have a problem with any black level. Again, on angle, on center, dead center, with, you know, the U8H. It's a great TV. Colors are beautiful, fantastic TV. I can't, but the processing is not going to match Sony. Sony is tack freaking sharp. Especially this year, is great, but they have problems, and I think that's the part where we've got to be honest about those so they get fixed, so we really walk away with the Sony we deserve. What is it? Shawnee will pay out 500 pounds per 500 pounds per each customer owner in the UK if they've made a purchase from 2019 on the Play Store till now. Yeah, I've been hearing about that. I've seen articles about it, and I haven't looked into it at all. You meant Sony. Gotcha. Yeah, I kind of knew what you meant. What's going on, Handy Cart? Matt, what's going on? You said, I'm enjoying the A95K 65-inch. Got mine from Curry's in England. I'm glad you're having a great time with it, man. That's what this is all about. As long as you're happy, kind of doesn't matter. We've got C8 is brighter, LMFAO, that's shitty. Yeah, pretty much. Devontae, what's going on, brother? You said, nice phone, Q. You said, what kind is that? This is the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra. We've got Onigashima is the island, not the castle. Yeah, all right, my bad. Right, you're right. Totally right. Hey, it's been a long day, man. I do these things after work. We all make mistakes. I'm sure some of the really, really into it One Piece fans that way exceed my level are like, he did not get that wrong. You know, I'm just making a joke here, but you know what I mean. So thank you for the correction, for sure. So yes, it is the castle. I am corrected. And I guess that's kind of a spoiler, not really. That is kind of basic information at this point, though. So I think we're not in spoiler territory, so we're good. Shout out to Kimar. Thank you, brother, for your donation of $1.99. It goes a long way in helping us out, man. I really appreciate it, but you've got a super chat here, so let's see your question. You said, hey, Q, pick between the A90J or A95K. All day, every day, I'm going to run to the A95K. The A90J is just, I'm sorry, it's trash. I'm sorry. I don't like it at all. That's my personal view on it. And the reason I say that is because the motion on it specifically was so bad. So bad. Like, I couldn't watch it, bro. Like, I would sooner rather take a loss on it like I did than to literally keep it. I didn't want it. Okay, so the A95K, though, totally different story. It's a really solid TV. Is it my favorite? No. Do I think you should buy it? No. I think you should send Sony a message and get the Samsung S95B for sure, because it's the better TV. But at the end of the day, if you have it, it's a nice TV, right? You can experience vibrant color. You can experience nice brightness from time to time. It's not great brightness. Nice. It's okay. It's within scope of an OLED. I mean, it's like, C-series level, B-series level, right? It's okay. It's, whatever. It's probably a little higher than that. I'm being dramatic here, but you get what I'm saying. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the A90J, and I know a lot of people that own it swear by it. I think the only good thing about the A90J versus the A95K is that it can accommodate a soundbar. Other than that, gone. Wouldn't want anything to do with it. And even then, I kind of don't really care, right? I'll figure out something else. So hopefully that helps, brother. Azan, what's going on? You said, Quantum, would you recommend the C1 in any size? Would I recommend the C1 in any size? Or you're asking is bigger is better? So the size I went with personally, I went with 55 inch because I like smaller images. Smaller images keep that clarity really sharp. I know a lot of people nowadays, especially, I don't know what this new trend is. It's been really blowing up lately. Everybody's like, oh, I want an 85 inch. I'm like, dude, you have no idea. That image is going to just look like just completely overstretched garbage if you buy the wrong TV. You've got to have perfect processing. And even then, some stuff just can't do it. And it's going to look pretty bad on it. It's going to look blurry. You're always going to reach for your remote trying to get some more sharpness just to turn it down on something else. I don't like it. The 85-inch scene is just not my scene. 75, not my scene. But 55 and 65 max, I like 65 and 55. So that's kind of what I'll say for that. Like for me, 55, 65 max. But again, counteractively, this does play a role in the distance as well. So like if you're in a cathedral mansion, right, and you've got like all this crazy space, then absolutely, I recommend you maybe get a 77-inch if you're sitting like 30 feet away from your TV or something like that. You know what you need. So some of these things kind of you have to play by eye and ear and how big your room is. Obviously for a theater room, like a home theater room dedicated in your house, and you don't want a projector, you want a big-ass TV, well, then that makes a lot of sense. So I can't say that I won't recommend it for everybody. It's just it really depends on the application, the person, how you're using these things. So that's kind of, you got to give a little bit more information, but yeah, that's pretty much my general recommendation. Silent Ghost, what's going on? You said, is the A95K worth the price? Worth the price than the S95B and the U8H for gaming? No, absolutely not. The A95K, as far as a gaming product goes, is inferior because it only has two HDMI 2.1 ports, one of which is the ER port. Why even bother? And the input lag is higher. I mean, at this point, like, you could literally get an LG C1 of pretty much any size, cheaper than an A95K, and have a vastly superior gaming experience. You got G-Sync, you got FreeSync, you got a game bar that pops up, and you got all this fun little stuff to mess with, and you got the same on Samsung. Sony doesn't have a game bar. We got budget TVs popping up with game bar features now, right? With Hisense with their Game Zone, and other people will follow. And Sony's just dragging their feet, talking about, we got VRR. It's like, yeah, that's basic at this point. Like, what else? We got dynamic tone mapping, auto dynamic tone mapping for PS5. It's like most TVs can do something like that through HDR10. Like, we don't need you for that. Like, give us something else. Like, give us something cool, unique that Sony can do. That's like wouldn't it be cool if like you have a PS5 and there's something unique that only a PS5 could accomplish with that Sony TV? Like, that's what I would want to see. So, unfortunately, we're not there yet. But yeah, we've got. Oh, by the way, I would get the S95B first and then the U8H if you couldn't. So just to give you like alternatives, like my tier, if you will. I didn't give the ranking on that. Michael, what's going on, man? You said, does the Sony X950H still stack up against 2022 LEDs from Sony? Yes. There's still a lot of blooming on them today. Yes, it still stacks up. The color is not much better either on the newer ones. Don't let them fool you with that Triluminous Pro. Like, don't fall for it. Okay, like they're not much better. Like what you have is pretty comparable. Until Sony comes out and they go, hey, we've introduced quantum dots again. We've got a Sony QLED now, like, which they're not gonna do. They want you to buy the new OLED. So you're pretty much in line with what they've been selling for years. It's kind of a copy and paste. The only difference now is with the cognitive processor, really, is the tack sharp clarity in those gains. But outside of that, not really a whole lot has changed. So yeah. What do we got here? Oh, yeah. Mrs. Q had an experience today, and I told you, because as you guys know, totally ditched the Samsung, or rather, Sony A95K, okay? I found out, literally today, that Best Buy is charging people for bags now. I thought, right? I'm gonna handy card, if you're still here, I'm gonna use your thing. 29 plus 1 years old, okay? Thinking to myself, okay, that was the basic cost of doing business. Like, why am I paying you as your customer for the product and the bag to put it in? Why not just buy online, Best Buy? I could just go to Amazon. I look at it in your store and I go buy somewhere else. How about that? I mean, like, do they really think that that's going to work? Like, I don't see this taking off very well. I think when customers go to the checkout counter, right, and the cashier tacks on an extra 10 cents per bag, per item, and the customer's like, whoa, what are you doing? What's that extra 10 cents you just did? Oh, I'm charging you for the bag, sir. Bags aren't free anymore, sir. And you'll get one of those attitudinal types. Sometimes you get in the Best Buy and you know the one, the guy that just does not care about his job at all. And that's going to be the day you really try to, like, hold yourself back from catching the case, I'm telling you. And I just honestly, though, like, realistically, I think, like, if you wanted to charge people for bags because of, like, the environment, like, I think there's a way to do it. I don't think, obviously, this is that. I think with their laying off of employees recently, like we've seen, this is a cost-cutting tactic. But the way that they're doing it is now not even the customers are safe. And when you start penalizing your customers, I just, in the end, good luck, bud. Let's see how long you last doing that. It's like, that's like why, like, I never go to Aldi. Some people go to Aldi and they're just like, oh, pay us for the cart. It's like, absolutely not. I'll go to Publix. I'm in the South. I don't need you, Aldi. Who are you? Like, I don't know. My Publix guys, you know what I'm talking about. All right, so we've got more questions coming in from, I'm going to mess it up. K-June, what's going on? You said Best Buy has the U8H for $699, 55-inch. Do it now. I can guarantee you that's that early Labor Day sale that's happening. So that's one of those things that I'm seeing. So I think if you can, definitely do it. Greetings, bro. Great stream. I appreciate it. I gave my friend an A90J. I had the S95B, but I think I'm color sensitive because the colors are overbearing for me. I mean, you can always turn it down. I mean, like, and that's the thing, like, sometimes, not you, Kimar, because like, you're totally straight and you're cool with me, but sometimes, like, when I talk to some of these Sony guys, like, because, like, I'm a Sony guy myself. I'm an every brand guy, if anybody needs to know. I'm not loyal at all to any company, right? But, like, I tell these guys, I'm like, you do know, like, if you find the saturation too much, you can turn it down to straight up 0 if you want to watch a black and white picture. They still let you do that. And of course, they look at me with, like, snark because, like, they didn't think of it, and they're like, wow, okay, smart ass. It's like, no, really, though. Like, as low as you want to go, turn those colors down. It works, I promise. And sometimes, like, when you show people that, like, especially if you're on a job and you're calibrating for somebody and they don't realize that they can do that, and they're like, Samsung has a reputation of being crappy for colors. They're just too vibrant. I want them less vibrant. It's like, turn it down, like, until you're comfortable. Preference is everything, right? And so, no, I totally get what you mean. For some people, it can be overbearing and it could be a bit much, and you've got to turn it down. So I think also when it comes to this stuff, that's also why there can be no such thing as a reference standard. I love pointing that out to people, too, because, like, they'll swear by it. Like, we'll be in a heated conversation, they'll be reference standard above all. I'm like, okay, if there's a reference standard, what's the reference standard for somebody that has color blindness? What's the reference standard for somebody that wears glasses versus not? What's the reference standard for somebody that prefers cooler color temperatures versus warmer color temperatures? And also, how is there a reference standard when every single director has a different artistic style? There is no such thing as a reference standard. It's all fictionary stuff. It's imaginary BS, in my opinion, because there's no way that you can account for everybody's vision, the director's intent, as they like to say. Every director is different with a different vision. And the fact that this is never represented in any other publication but mine is bogus. But that's the difference between us, right? I look at things like they are. I'm a realist. And other people are, hey, they're trying to get that money, man. So I'm going to wrap this up real quick. I'm going to try to answer like a couple final questions here. I got the 77-inch G2. I love it. We've got I got the C1 based on his recommendations. Never regret a single moment. His settings are even better. You said, but I'm moving so. You said awesome. Scouting that out as well. Hearing some quality issues with the S95B, bending issues, dead pixels, and so on. I've got no dead pixels or bending issues if that helps you out, and I will continue to monitor this as time goes on, but I don't suspect that I'll have many problems in the early going. I think maybe towards many years later when nobody cares about the S95B anymore, but so far so good. Favorite Spider-Man and Hulk actor? I don't really follow actors, if you would believe. I know like in society it's like this thing like you're supposed to have like an idol or somebody you look up to. Like that's never happened for me. Like I've never looked at somebody and goes, I like you. Like I don't know their names. They're just guy that makes movie. Like sometimes some actors can stand out and do something funny, like the little Spider-Man dance, like Tobey Maguire maybe. The Andrew kid, I don't know his name. Andrew, that's the first thing I know. The Spider-Man, I don't know, right? They're entertaining, but I think like with anything, so long as the role is convincing and believable, they're all pretty good. As far as Hulk goes, I couldn't tell you a single person in Hulk outside of Bruce Banner. So I'm the worst person you could possibly ask for that. Last question of the night, will you review the G2? I don't have any plans on reviewing the LG G2. I don't review things that don't have stands or that are way too heavy or cumbersome, things like that. And the G2 doesn't have a stand, and I'm not going to pay them for a stand. I think that's the basic cost of doing business with a customer. It could be a gallery TV and throw a stand in the box like the Samsung literally frame TV that is made to be a gallery TV, but LG's on something else with that, so they can keep it. So unfortunately, I'm not going to review that one. I have a stance against that, and I speak with my dollars, and that's just my opinion on that one. But there'll be other TVs. It'll happen. So hopefully, they make one with stand. Andrew Garfield, that's the name. I swear to God, dude. How do you guys do this? You guys are so fast with it. I can never pull these actors' names out. I'm like, who are they? So, but all right, guys, I'm going to go spend some time with the family, have some fun. You guys be safe out there. It's a Friday night. People are driving crazy. Just be safe, have fun, and live life to its fullest, right? We'll do this again Friday, 7 p.m. through 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And make sure you leave those questions, feedback, what you'd like to see. We've got more review content coming up. I'm going to be in the future videos that I'm doing. We're going to be comparing a Challenger to the Philips Hue, and we're going to be comparing it against the current options like Light Me Neo, Go V, Philips Hue. Like there's going to be a lot of fun happening with the backlighting stuff because I always get asked like, hey Quantum, what are the lights behind your TV? So we're going to talk about all that stuff, have a lot of fun with it. But until that time, I want you guys to have fun. And again, thanks for watching Number One Brand in Honesty. Till the next video, I'll see you guys later. And we're done.